everybody, it's Lavender Town, and today I wanted to do another episode of my Turning Random Things into Cute Girls character design series. And today I'm going to be doing junk food and snacks, mainly focusing on things like chips. So to start the video off, I'm going to be doing a character design based around the Cheeto, and more specifically the Flaming Hot Cheeto. This is the spicy version of the Cheeto that came out in the 90s apparently, and since I'm basing this character design just off of the food, all we really have to work with is the flavor, the packaging, and what the actual food thing looks like. So the first thing I was inspired by was the flavor of a Flaming Hot Cheeto. Obviously they are spicy, especially compared to the original. So I wanted her to have a more edgy, spicy personality, and I thought it would be perfect for her to be 50% edgy, spicy kind of character and 50% cheesy, since obviously Cheetos are supposed to be cheese flavored. I don't actually know if the Flaming Hot Cheetos have much of a cheese flavor. Every time I've had them, they have more of just a vinegary, spicy kind of flavor, but I like the idea of her being sort of a edgy looking character with a heart of gold, who's like secretly a romantic. So in order to try to start incorporating those things into her character, I gave her an edgy outfit. Obviously we need her exterior to look the spiciest and the edgiest. I tried to get the shapes of the Cheetos into her hair. I just gave her hair a bit more of a crunchy, standing up kind of look. I've seen girls with these sort of pigtails before, and I think it looks just very visually impressive, so I decided to use that on this character. I also gave her a sort of 90s, early 2000s punk look, because that's kind of when spicy Cheetos were really in their popular heyday. So I decided to base it off of that. So that includes like a red tartan skirt over top of some ripped up jeans. That's very 90s, early 2000s. So I thought we'd use that. And I also gave her a melting like cheetah print heart, just to call back to the cheetah mascot for Cheetos. And with the colors, of course, I had to use that super bright red. It's honestly kind of scary, like how red, it almost looks like the pigment that they put to make lipstick and stuff. It almost doesn't look like food because it's so bright. And I think that's kind of what they were going for. They wanted to make a very extreme snack, so I think that they succeeded in that way at least. And I tried to just generally keep her whole color palette super warm. I decided on this one, rather than just having them sort of stand and then drawing them from the waist up, I decided that I would try to fit their poses more to match their character, and also so that I could fit more of them on a video-sized canvas. Whenever I do drawing specifically for a YouTube video, I make sure that my canvas is the right shape for a YouTube video, and sometimes that makes it so that the characters get sort of cut off. So I'm trying to just work around that and just make it a little bit better for you guys to watch, and so I can use more of the canvas space. And I actually like how it turned out because it gave her more personality for sure. There's a lot more you could do with poses rather than just having them stand there, and I'm just glad that I finally sort of remembered that and started applying that to my art, because I've been stuck in a rut of just having characters sort of standing and wasting a lot of my canvas space. But tangent aside, as you can see, we are working with a lot of reds, a lot of sort of carmine colors, and I gave her a gradient where we start with sort of a orangey standard Cheeto color and we move up to the bright red flaming Cheeto color. Next up is the healthier alternative, a bit more natural when it comes to the chip. That is the kale chip, and I thought that this character would be a really good foil to our hot Cheeto character, so I wanted to go with her next. So basically all a kale chip is a piece of kale, which is, for those of you who don't know, probably one of the hardest vegetables to start to like, maybe outside of like eggplant or something like that. It's just very hardy, and you have to prepare it just right, otherwise you'll find it difficult to even bite through, especially if you don't get the right kind. So a kale chip is just a piece of that super hardy lettucey stuff, with a little bit of oil on it, and then sometimes like a bit of Parmesan cheese or sea salt or something to flavor it, and then it's just baked in the oven until it's sort of crispy. So it's one of the healthier chip type foods that you could possibly get. I always thought when I was younger that like veggie straws were just vegetables that had been cooked into a delightful shape, but it turns out that those are mainly just colored potatoes. So yeah, if you really want to go healthy, you should definitely go for a kale chip. So for this kale chip girl, I decided she would be super naturalistic, definitely kind of a health food junkie, and probably someone who likes to exercise and be in tune with themselves. So I gave her yoga pants, and honestly, I just couldn't think of, I felt strongly that she had to be have this just sort of kale top on. They always draw like Adam and Eve with like fig leaves over their demonetized areas of their body. So I'm hoping that YouTube will accept these pieces of kale over her, because I just really feel in my heart that the kale chip girl would probably do yoga topless, and I think that using that sort of nudity censor of the kale leaf is kind of funny. But anyway, I decided to give her a primarily green color scheme, of course. I was tempted to give her more of a natural hair color, but I really wanted the kale-iness to be bursting from this picture, so I decided to give her a sort of light green hair with a wreath of kale atop her head, the kale brassiere kind of situation on her top, and then yoga pants on the bottom. Basically, I just wanted to blend together this sort of flower child classic hippie image alongside the more modern, health-conscious, like wellness kind of girls who are just focused on trying to live super healthy and exercise a lot. I definitely thought I needed at least one healthy kind of chip character to balance out the Hot Cheetos girl and the girl who's coming up next. But to finish off with this kale chip girl, I generally think she turned out pretty cute. I tried to make her skin a little bit warmer and more orangey, just so that it would stand out a little bit against all the cool colors that are around it. I tried to give her some cute yoga pants, and then with that, she was finished up. I really like the nose I gave her. It's a different shape than I've ever done before, but it kind of looks like a bat, and I think that's kind of interesting. Last but not least is the pizza roll. Now, a lot of people eat different types of little pizza rolls or pizza pockets or whatever, basically iterations of pizza where you don't actually have to order delivery pizza, you just have to sort of get some sort of frozen thing out of your freezer and microwave it. So it's basically the spirit of pizza without all the hassle. Now, I've never really been a fan of pizza rolls. I can't have any of the like official on-brand Totino style ones because I think they all have some kind of pepperoni or ham or something in them that I like, some sort of meat. But there are some cheese only, like cheese and marinara pizza pockets that they sell. And I've never really liked them very much, but I do love pizza. And I think that kind of leaked into my design a little bit. She ended up looking a lot more like just a pizza girl. I wanted the pizza rolliness to sort of come in her physique. I wanted her to look very sort of soft and round, especially because the first two characters I did were pretty skinny, and I needed someone to add a little bit of a different silhouette to this lineup. Otherwise, they'd end up looking the same. I've talked a bit about how like same body syndrome. It's kind of like same face syndrome, and it can really take the energy out of your character lineup. So if I find myself with two characters that are kind of similar body proportions wise, I always try to shake it up somehow in the last few characters. Obviously, if you were doing serious character designs for like a movie or a book or a game or whatever, you definitely want to base it off of their, own personal character traits. But it's good to think about the lineup as well, just from a visual perspective. But anyway, so for our pizza roll girl, I decided to give her sort of a little floppy crown of pizza slices. I wanted her to have sort of a crust hairband, if that makes any sense, and her hair basically just looks like a lot of melted cheese. Oftentimes when you microwave something like this, what ends up happening is all the cheese explodes out, and what you end up with is a sort of empty shell of bready pastry stuff and then a whole bunch of cheese all over your plate and or microwave. So I kind of like how her hair appears to be just cheese sort of tumbling out of the pizza crown, completely out of control, because that is the pizza roll, pizza pocket experience, in my experience at least. I gave her small hands and feet because I just think that looks real cute on chubbier characters. And I decided for the color scheme mainly to just focus on the core elements of a pizza, which is the red marinara, the orange cheese, and the colored cut crust, like a little bit warmer brown. And I think that turned out pretty well. In retrospect, I wish I had put some vegetables or something on her, but I felt like I couldn't because there aren't a lot of pizza rolls that really have any sort of vegetables in them. Some of the fancier, like organic style ones do, but those, in my experience, are pretty gross. So I didn't want to put that on our poor pizza roll girl. But the reason being is just that her color scheme is a lot similar to the super warm color scheme of our hot Cheetos girl. And like I said, I'm always considering the lineup, and I just wanted them to look a little different. But as long as the kale chip girl is in between them, it will look like a nice symmetrical kind of thing. Her pepperoni spots ended up looking a little bit more like a giraffe. So it kind of looks like she's a melted giraffe in some places, but I think the pizza motif is strong enough that it looks more like pepperoni. I'm not sure. And I tried to make her look extra shiny because pizza rolls are awfully greasy and stuff, so I wanted to give her a high shine kind of coloration. Here are my finished snack girls. What do you think of them? Who is your favorite? And what should they be named? I think since this has become such a steady series on my channel, whoever picks the names I like the best will have their comment featured at the start of the next Cute Girls video, just so that we have a sort of concrete canonical name for all the characters. Let me know if you think that's a good idea as well. It's something I'm just sort of considering. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end, and I will see you in the next one. Special thanks to all of my patrons, including Bambo, Bella Story, Kelpompong, Cassitarius, Dr. Casket, Elizabeth Album, Hope Chilsum, JJ Jade, Carla Tapia, Blep, Kier, Micah Daxel, Ogamore, Ollie, Rosie Warlock, Sergeant Pendulum, The Artsy Moose, Your Boy ST, and Zoe Stardust.